Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Azrul bin Azhar, and today for our group we will present about chapter 8. Review for chapter 8, and our group get 8.5 and 8.6. So firstly, we go through the 8.5. That is my point to present. And the topic is other offences. Okay, so there is many offences, but I will explain only about the other offences. Okay, so first offences is destruction of documents or falsification of records. We go through the definition first. Document destruction is just one element of a comprehensive records management policy that will help your company, your organization handle the sensitive data properly. This is quite good, but it is called offences. Okay, and the definition of falsification of records or falsifying documents is a type of white-collar crime that involves changing or modifying a document for the purpose of deceiving someone in the company or in an organization. Intentional falsification of records includes making a false statement in any record that is kept. A false statement, false record. So that is called an offence. Okay. So secondly, the other offences, second offences is failure to cooperate with SC. SC is Security Commission. Okay, so the SCA, Security Commission Act, establishes the SC, which is the body that regulates the security industry as a whole. Okay, and it is a self-funding statutory body with investigate and enforcement powers. Company or an organization must cooperate with SC. Okay, if they cannot cooperate with SC, maybe the company or the organization will charge for SCA. Okay, so the company must cooperate with SC because SC is one of the important thing for a company to do the investment thing. Okay, and lastly, the third offences is liability of directors or employees. So the directors or employees, as we know, the directors is high position in the company, and employee is just basic. Okay, and but their responsibility, they must act reasonably in the good faith and in the company's best interest, and they must place the interest of the organization or the company before their own interest. They must forget their own interest, and they must do the best for their company or their organization, and they must act within the scope of applicable bylaws, because in the company we stick with the laws, with the rules, so they must obey the laws, obey the rules. And liability between the directors and employees are different. The directors should treat their employees equally. Okay, cannot have a different type of treat. Okay, so I think that's all for me, and we will go to the next presenter. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Muhammad Zaraika bin Zahir, and I'll be presenting Compensation Fund. It was established by Bursa Malaysia under Section 141 of CSMA 2007. The objective is to compensate persons suffering monetary loss which entitled by Section 152 of CSMA 2007. Who is eligible for claim under compensation funds? Under Section 152 of CSMA 2007, person who has suffered monetary loss because defalcation or fraudulent misuses of monies of other property by a director, officer, employee, or representative of a holder capital market services license who carries out on the business of dealing in securities, that is in time participating organization PO or an insolvency of participation organization. Okay, that is all for compensation fund, and now I'll pass on to Atan Daniel to present the next slide.
Okay, thank you Zaril. Okay, now we're going to the claim process. Okay, first we're going to the definition of the claim process. Okay, the claim process refers to the insurance company procedure to check the claim request for adequate information, validation, justification, and authenticity. Okay, at the end of the process, the insurance company may reimburse the money to the healthcare provider in whole or in part. Okay, now we're going to the process of the claim. Okay, first process is the claimant submit claim in writing and complete the relevant claim form. Okay, this means is client must be submit the claim in a writing and complete the form what the broker need. Second process is a document must be attached together with client form, the original document. Okay, as you can see in the slide, this is the example of document must be attached together with client forms. Okay, the third process is a securities account. A securities account, known as a brokerage account, is an account that holds financial assets such as securities on behalf of an investor with a bank and a broker. The fourth process is the agreement with PO. The buyer sends the PO to the seller. It's the choice to seller whether to accept it or not. The fifth process is the contract notes. A contract notes a brief written announcement by an agent, such as a factor or broker, to a principal stating that the agent has bought or sold a certain amount of securities on the principal behalf at the terms specified. The last process of the claim process is the receipt of securities. Okay, the receipt of securities is the check, drawing records, and bank statement. Okay, as you can see, this is the example of the check, drawing records, and the bank statement.
Okay, I will continue. After the claim process, the claimant will receive a notification from a Bursa Malaysia on a status of claim. If dissatisfied, the claimant can appeal within 1 month to a Securities Commission. Why claimant can appeal to Securities Commission? Because Security Commission has the power to investigate and enhance the areas with its jurisdiction. As a Securities Commission, they must determine its own procedure in hearing any appeals that have made by client. As a Securities Commission, they must respect any appeal sub-regulation. Firstly, affirm the determination of a corporation. Secondly, set aside the determination of the corporation. Thirdly is substitute the determination of the corporation with its own determination. And after that, if the claim process is successful, the claimant can collect the check.
Thank you, my friend. Okay, my name is Muhammad Fahim bin Jafar. I'm from JBA 1143B. Okay, I would like to present about the claim limit. Okay, and the claim limit is for the claim made against compensation fund of Bursa Security is RM 100,000 per claim and no limit for stockbroking company. Okay, I give you example. A liability policy may have a 25,000 per claim limit of 100,000 ringgit. If the insured make a single claim for 50,000 ringgit, the insurance company pays only 25,000 ringgit, the per limit, even though it is under the aggregate limit. The aggregate limit is 75,000 ringgit. Okay, and then time for processing claim. Determination of the taken in processing claim shall be made within a period of 6 months or otherwise authorized by Bursa Malaysia. And then the cut off date for submission of claim on or before the date specified in the Regulation 17, notice not being early than 3 months after publication of the said notice, and if no notice published, the claim within 6 months from the date claimant becomes first aware of the circumstance of referred to in section 152/167 of CMSA. Okay, and then eligibility determination, where Bursa Malaysia take into consideration whether the claimant is a person who has suffered loss in the manner investigated under relevant law, and then the claim was accordance with the provisions of CMSA, the rules concerned, and there is a bankruptcy proceedings instituted against claimant, and the last, all fact and statement of claim given to Bursa Malaysia is accrued in all materials aspect. I think that's all for us. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. I'm Nur Nabila, and on this article, I will talk about the article that we choose under the other offences, and that is falsifying documents. This article was published on malaysia.news.yahoo.com, and the title of the article is Advertising Company Director Slapped with 12 charges of falsifying documents related to Tourism Malaysia contracts. And this article was written by Emmanuel Santa Marachin on 27 July 2020. 45-year-old Ibrahim Omar was accused of committing 7 offences in Putrajaya September 2019, with the remaining 5 allegedly committed in June this year in Kuala Lumpur. Out of 12 charges, 10 were related to forgery and fraudulently using a forged documents. The remaining 2 charges were read under Section 18 of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Act 2009, which relates to having the intention to deceive and mislead parties by providing false or erroneous materials or statements. Judge Azura Alwi set bail at 250,000 ringgit Malaysia with 1 surety, while also compelling the accused to surrender his passport to the court and to report himself monthly to the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya. Case mentioned was fixed for September 1. Thank you.